Hello and welcome to Mustaq Kunnoor Academy. In this video, I will show you how to create a schematic of inverting amplifier using op-amp, and I will also show you how to create its layout from schematic diagram. As we can see that in this circuit diagram, it consists of one 741 IC along with two resistors, that is resistor R1 and RF. R1 is connected at pin number 2 and RF is connected between pin number 2 and 6. Pin number 3 is connected to ground, whereas the VCC plus VCC is connected to pin number 7 and minus VCC is connected to pin number 4. Plus is connected to pin number 7, whereas minus is connected to ground, whereas in VDD, in this supply, minus is negative terminal is connected to pin number 4 and positive terminal is connected to ground. Let's see how its layout looks like. Here we can see that, as we know, the PCB layout having two layers, that is, one is a top layer and another is a bottom layer. We have to create this layout in bottom layer. Now I will show you how to create the schematic and the layout using dip trace software. I will minimize this. First we have to open this dip trace software. Here we can see that this is the launcher. Just double click on it. Once we double click on it, here we can see that it is having four options. Number 1, schematic capture. Number 2, PCB layout, component editor and pattern editor. But in order to create a schematic, we have to select the schematic capture. Just click on it. Here we can see that the dip trace is opening. Once the dip trace is opened, schematic is opened. Now we have to select the components. My left hand side, here we can see that these are the place component and this is the library, and in this the grids workspace, here we have to select the components and drag and drop it. First I will select the op-amp. In order to select op-amp, just search here in the library, go to all library and type it as 741 and press enter. Here we can see that in filter it's showing different options. Once the search is over, then select the component. Okay, we are done with the search part. Now I have to select the 741 IC. In this list, the last option is a 741. Just scroll it. In this, here we can see that the UA741CD, we have to select this as op-amp. Just select this and place here. Now we have to select two resistors, one for input and one for the feedback. For that, just go to general non-IPC and here select the resistor, that is RES. We know that this is the symbol and this is the pattern or footprint of a resistor. Just select this resistor, place it at one input side and one output side. We also need a ground. In order to select ground, go to net port and here scroll down, select the ground. As we know that ground does not having any pattern, it is having only symbol. Just select this symbol and keep wherever you want. Now it's time to select a power supply. Here we cannot select the power supply, but whereas we can select the power supply pattern or battery pattern. For that I am going to select the battery. Just select the battery pattern here. In connect battery holder we have different types of pattern. I am going to select the pattern which is suitable for my circuit. I am going to select this 108. This is the power supply. Just select here and place. Now I will rotate this. In order to rotate this, just right click on it and click on rotate, or we can directly use the letter R in order to rotate. Now it's time to make the connection. In order to make the connection, just select this place wire and make the connection from point to point. Here it is connected to pin number 6, and power supply positive is connected to pin number 7 and negative is connected to pin number 2. We also need a ground. I will copy and paste this once again here. We also need one more ground here. Paste here, make the connection, and pin number 3 is connected to ground. We are done with the schematic. We can also rename this register, and we can also select the naming here. For instance, if this is the R1, just select this register, double click on it. Here we can change the name of the R1 here. Likewise, we can also change the register of this. This is R2. We can change its name as RF. Click OK. We can also change the display part here. Now once we are done with this connection, we should remember that the ground is connected to the which net. In order to find the net name, just right click on this ground line, go to property. Here it is net 4 and rename it as ground. Rename it as ground. Click OK. We are done with this schematic diagram. In order to convert this schematic diagram into layout, just go to file. Before that I save this file with the name as inverting amplifier. Just go to file, save, inverting amplifier. This is inverting, and here the extension as .dch. Click OK. Now go to file and click on convert to PCB, or directly you can press Ctrl B in order to convert this schematic into layout. Just click on convert to PCB. Once you convert the schematic into convert to PCB, click on OK. Here we can see that we have made one mistake, that we are using op-amp 741, which should be a DIP package, but whereas here we are getting it as SMD package. Since we are not using the SMD op-amp, we have to change its pattern. In order to change this pattern, I will close this PCB layout and I will go back to the schematic, right click on it. Here go to attached pattern. Here we can see that the op-amp is having SMD pattern here, but I need DIP pattern. For that, go to general. Here in filter, in this pattern, select as a DIP. Just press D button, select DIP 8. Remember this, go to general here and select here as a DIP 8 package. Once we have select this, just click on OK. Now we can see that its pattern got changed. Save it once again. Now go to file, again convert to PCB. Go to file, convert to PCB. Click OK. Here we can see that its pattern got changed. Now I will draw its layout. In order to draw the layout, we can observe that we have two layers in PCB. One is a top layer, another is a bottom layer. In order to align the components or in order to arrange these components properly, we have to select in top layer. For that, I have selected here top layer and now I am arranging the components accordingly. We can observe that here the battery layout or the pattern is quite bigger, and this may create a problem while creating a layout. For that, I am going to change its size. In order to change the size of the battery or battery pattern, for that I have to ungroup this J1 battery pattern. What I will do, just select this J1 and right click on it here and go to ungroup component. Once I ungroup this, we can see that all the components are ungrouped. I will delete the box which is bigger. I am deleting this box, rectangular box. I will also delete this. Now we have the two parts of battery. Just align it properly and we can draw the box around it. For that, go to place shape and draw this. Once we draw this, we can select, instead of that I will change this. Instead of that, we have to draw this box. Yeah, we are done with this. Now once we draw this box around these terminals, select all these components. Once again, right click on it and go to group into components. Now it will act as one part. Likewise, the same procedure is followed for the J2. I will select this, right click on it, click on ungroup. I will delete this box. I will delete this box here. I am deleting this. Now I will arrange this properly. Power supply and click to go to place shape, take this box and draw around it. Yeah, we are done with this. Press escape. Now select this component, right click on it, click on group component. Yes, we are done with this. Now it's look good. Now we will change its alignment here. Select this component, press R. We can see that power supply terminals got, yeah, this looks easy. We can keep the power supply point wherever we want. This is for the sake of our convenience. Once we align this component, now it's time to draw the border. In order to draw the border line, go to place border outline. Click on place border outline and just draw, click on the workspace and draw the border around it. Yeah. Once we are done with the border, now it's time to draw or create a layout. In order to convert this the rat line, the blue lines is known as a rat line. Here whatever we see, the blue lines, these are known as a rat line. We have to convert this rat line into the trace. For that, go to bottom. Now select the trace route manual, select this route manual. Once we select route manual, click OK. Here from left hand side, we have to select segment width. Here we have to select the segment width. The segment width here by default it is 0.33. But for the lab purpose, I will make it as 2 mm. Now I will draw the layout here. I will start with this resistor. Here we can see that I am drawing it. The one thing you should observe here, the track angle should be 45 degree or between 90 to 45 degree. It should not be 90 degree. It should be less than 90 degree, or we can say it should be 45 degree. Now I will draw this here. If you feel this is a thicker, you can also change its size here. Instead of that, we can make 1.5 mm. We can change its width at it as 1.5 mm, and we have to draw. We have to enter the trace here. We'll make it as 1.5 mm. See to it that no wire should overlap on each other. Yes, we are doing this. Let's reduce its size since we cannot pass this wire between these two lines. Otherwise that creates an error. I will change its length to 1 mm or width to 1 mm and also change its width to 1 mm. And we can also change the border since it has crossed. Now once again draw this outline, board outline here. Yeah, once we draw the outline, now it's time to draw or put the copper pore. For that, just go to place copper pore and enter the copper pore from end to end. Okay, here in copper pore, select pouring and select the solid fill. Go to connectivity. Here select the ground. As we know that in schematic diagram, the ground is connected to this net. Let's check the name of the net. Go to property. Here we have changed the net name as a ground. Now I will go to once again. Here we have to select it as a ground and click on OK. Once we click on OK, here we can see that we are ready with the layout of inverting amplifier. In order to assign the namings, go to top layer. Here we can write the name of the experiment here. This is inverting amplifier. We can change its size. This is inverting amplifier. Likewise, you can mention any component name on the top layer. You can also write the name on the bottom layer. Go to bottom. Here you can write it as inverting amplifier, and that is going to appear in the layout. In this way, we draw the schematic as well as the layout of inverting amplifier. Thank you.